Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. Muhammad Ahmed Qadri is with a beautiful program, Islam in the Contemporary World. And today's topic of discussion is concept of family in Islam. Luckily, we have two eminent scholars in our studios. We would be talking about Islam and family with reference to Muslim culture and non-Muslim culture. Our first guest is Professor Dr. Abdul Rasheed, who is noted for his intercultural studies and his contribution towards comparative religion, and he's a well-known scholar and visiting fellow to Catholic University of USA. We welcome you in our program.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Our second guest of today's program is Professor Dr. Akthar Baloch. He is noted for his political science contribution as well as management sciences. Currently, he is performing his duties at the University of Qadri Department of Public Administration as a chairman of the department. We welcome you in our program.
Thank you.
So this was a slight introduction of these two eminent personalities. We will come back to our guest, Professor Dr. Abdul Rasheed. Dr. Saab, how do you think that our today's family culture is really a reflection of Islamic behavior or something else?
Thank you very much, Dr. Saab. First of all, I highly appreciate the program. I think this is the need of our in present scenario. In the name of Allah, the All Merciful, the Ever Merciful, when we are talking about the family and particularly about Islamic system, we have two fundamental sources. I mean Holy Quran and Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the practical life of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The family is a system or family in Islam. There is a saying of the Prophet, Al-Khalqu Ayalullah. It means all the creation is the family of Almighty Allah. In every religion, there is system of family, but Islam, the complete religion, the code of life, complete code of life is we say Al-Yawma Akmaltu Lakum Deenakum. So therefore, in Islam, the system of family or family system is unique and wonderful and according to the nature and need of the human being. For example, in Islam, all the family members, I mean parents and their sons and girls, they have a unique system and their rights and duties. Because whenever we are talking about duties, without right we can't explain anything. Yeah. Because right and duty is both.
So you mean rights and duties, they go all together?
Together, yeah.
And in Islam, rights and duties or rights and responsibilities.
The important thing Dr. did, there is no not only theory, but there is also practical. Theory is different and practical system is different, because we have the paradigm of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, how Prophet Muhammad was looking after their family and other. So we have not only theory, we have the practical system also.
That's beautiful. Yeah, yeah.
When we go together with these two paths, it means it will be a beautiful and a family very useful for the development of our society.
And I must mention one hadith of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tradition or saying of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, taraktu fikum amrayn,
yeah,
kitabullahi wa sunnati. I'm leaving behind two basic principles for your community. One is Allah's book, that's a beautiful divine law, yes, for the guidance of the people, and second is tradition of Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
This is the fair message of the Prophet.
Exactly. So there is correlation between theory and practice.
Theory and practice, yes.
So Professor Dr. Baloch, how do you see the concept of family in the Western world?
Thank you, Dr. Qadri. When we talk about the family basically is one of the basic unit of a society. It is generally consisted of a male member and a female member, depending on male or female members. And when we talk about the Western society, as such, I mean, we don't have one system of family in the West. It varies from different time to different society, to different culture, to different religion. And definitely when we talk about family, we say we have a family system which is pre-civilization or prehistoric, and we have a family system which is after civilization. And definitely the civilized family system is again classified on the basis of before industrial revolution or traditional society, and the post-industrial revolution and the modern society. Because the nature of the family has been changing. It is evolving from different socio-economic transition.
You mean from nomadic life to the contemporary life, family has changed its phases and its style of approach?
Even in the nomadic societies, we have different family system. Like I mean, in the West, the nomadic societies were based on monogamy structure and designs initially. But again, this is very important that which time we are talking about. Is it modern or it is earlier historic period, basically? Because we cannot have the one specific paradigm applied on the family system. But we know one thing, after civilization, family brought into existence through a covenant agreement. Maybe it was not a written agreement, but it was a mutual understanding between male and female that they will live together and look after the offspring. They will share the responsibilities and duties, as Dr. Rasheed mentioned, in the Islamic structure. This is the base, basically, on which we are trying to initiate with the perspective that is a couple who is agreeing to stay together to rear up their children.
So there is no written agreement between these two
Initially
individuals?
it wasn't. There was no any written. It was then incorporated in the religion. Religions adopted it and made it compulsory that there should be agreement. And definitely when we talk about
what kind of agreement you think that religion has given a new blend to family orientation and family participation?
Generally, when we talk about it is basically the number of wives was limited. That is in Catholic, I mean Christianity, specifically, I mean there will be one wife to one polygamy structure. And even in the Protestant structure, I mean, in Catholic, marrying twice at the same time is not allowed. In Protestant, again, and there was a problem that once you divorce, then you can marry. It is again, I mean, we call it legalized in the social structure, so secular structure. When we talk about a secular family system, it means it is not governed or guided by any religion, by the state law.
Dear viewers, you are watching a beautiful program on family system in Islam. So there is a necessity of a short break. Please stay with us. We'll be coming soon. Welcome back in our program, Islam in the Contemporary World. So Professor Dr. Baloch, you were giving us your comments about family system in the Western world or non-Muslim world or secular world.
We have a family which is governed by a family system which is governed by the religion, or we have a family system which is governed by the state. And the state family system is a secular family system which is not bound by any religious order, but it is governed by the law. And definitely the state family system came very late. It was not in practice earlier. But still, I mean, in the modern, we call it family system, when we are talking about the recent, after the Second World War, specifically, or during the Second World War period, it became more a social contract than a legal contract, where male and a female can stay together by their own will and willingness without signing any covenant. Maybe there is a hidden covenant between those individuals, and even they can brought children and look after their children, and that is strongly, we call it, is managed and controlled by those couples.
Yeah, that's true. So coming back to Professor Dr. Abdul Rasheed, you've been visiting USA so many times, and your books are still there on Islam. So how do you see, with reference to youth of America and with reference to family structure in America or North America, or even other countries of the world, what do you think, or what you have observed about orientation of these young generation, so that they could be really a very strong person to participate in the community, to participate in world affairs?
First of all, as you know, in the USA there is a multi-ethnic society, not only Christian, not only multi-ethnic society. And when we are visiting or we are visit in the multi-ethnic society, there is very important that every ethnic party must be shown this exist. In this perspective, I think, in my experience, when we are going on different platform, and you also participated so many times, when we are talking about religion, the people and young generation is very attention. When we are talking about only Islam, it means we are talking of one religion. I think in this scenario and this North America and America, when we are going to teach them, or when we are going to explain about the family, we should talk about the religious family, not Islam family, because in Bible there is so many verses about family in other literature, in Talmud, in other literature. It means every religion there is a system, there is a family system, but how to implement, as sometimes we say this is Islamic history and this is Muslim history. Okay, like this Islamic family system and Muslim family system. If you are talking about only theory, it means Islamic. It means Islamic. It means Islamic. When you are talking about theory as well as practical life, it means a very pure Islamic family. Otherwise, Muslim family, just like we have Muslim history. So we have to differentiate between Islamic and Muslim, and in this way, if we are going to teach the other people in this scenario, I think it will be more fruitful.
Yeah, correctly. Dr. Baloch, you think Muslim youth, which is being oriented throughout the world in non-Muslim communities, they are up to mark of Islam, or they are being given proper assistance from family to see a true, well-established Muslim person? Do you think like this?
Well, I think that when we talk about Muslim families or Islamic families, of course, I mean, Dr. Rasheed, there's a very distinction between, when we talk about the families which belong to Islamic religion, it depends. I mean, some families are very religious, some sort of orthodox religions, which want the religion to be dominated on the practices of the family. And some families are slightly progressive, enlightened. Maybe they don't exactly practice religion, or don't want to be bound by religion in all matters. Definitely, I mean, the families which are very, very religious, and they would like the children to follow religion or religious order. And definitely, we see, I mean, those children more controlled, somewhat like a traditional basis through which, I mean, the behavior of the children is protected to some extent. On the other end, when we talk about this slightly progressive or enlightened or modern liberal families, they don't exactly want to control the children from the perspective of religion. And definitely these two distinctions could be seen in the West.
You think these two types of families, what you mentioned in your comments, they are getting their actual goals of life?
Generally, I mean, the goal of life, a family, is to live together with a strong binding and sharing and managing the affairs of the family, rearing up the children, and being prosperous. And definitely, I mean, when we talk about the prosperity, it is not only economic prosperity, but spiritual prosperity at the same time. And the liberal families generally believe that spirituality is a personal affair, personal phenomena. They don't want to impose on the others. The Orthodox families do not believe it is individual. They believe it is collective, and therefore they want every family member to adopt it or practice it. And this is basically one of the contradictions we see in the West nowadays in the Muslim families, because those families who do not resist incorporation, they disappear, basically assimilated by the larger societies. And those who resist to some extent, then they have some sort of, we call it, some of them manage to accommodate themselves to some extent, maintaining their own identity with the others. And some of them become more extremist in the sense that they generally become victim of some sort of, we call it, militarized Islamic perspective. It happens basically in some of the perspective.
So, Dr. Abdul Rasheed, would you mention some points regarding behavior of a family? So, what do you think?
Very true, doctor. It is very true in our society, but the most thing is that regarding the gender, before pre-Islamic system, you know better, before the Prophet Muhammad, this was a very vast practice. But nowadays, if in our society this happened, it means this is not religious, this is social. This is social. Because now, for example, in our Pakistan society, we have lived with a long time in other religion, in other Hinduism and other. So this is only outside, I think, impact, not in the Islam. Because in Islam is very clear that the difference is only who is righteousness, not the question of gender, who is righteousness, who is near the Allah. If a female like Maryam alayhi salam,
so
okay,
yeah, we are sharing with Professor Dr. Abdul Rasheed, and we will be continuing. And the program Islam in the Contemporary World aims to explore dimensional approaches of Islam for the benefit of humanity. With the request, we'll go for a short break. Please be with us. We will come back. Welcome back in our program, Islam in the Contemporary World. So, Professor Dr. Abdul Rasheed, you were telling us about the situation of family members, male and female, upon the birth and response to this birth. So, please continue.
We are talking about in present scenario, because nowadays there is a development in the society. Society developed, and more people have very good education. And when we see in the society the participation of female, I think now so many families are requesting Allah Ta'ala, we have a very good girl. If she is participating well for the humanity. And if there is a male, for example, his character is not good, he is going on another thing, and bad way and not good path. So this is depend on the situation. Sometimes people are looking for a boy, and sometime, for example, if in a family there is no any children, they are praying to Allah, oh Allah, give us only even a girl.
This is a wrong approach.
Wrong. Okay,
I think because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given respect to men and women.
But I am looking it into positive. It means they also know the importance of female. For example, especially the family depend, my Dr. Qadri, on female. If the wife, if the mother is good and he is going with children very good, it means you are establishing and you are going to establish a very good family. So if not the question of male or female, the question is how to deal, how to prepare a skill for society. In this way, I think nowadays, in my opinion, for example, this depends also on training. For example, when I was on my Fulbright at a home, once there are some guests and we are going for dinner, and he asked, okay, we will wait for a while, so I offer my prayer. And there is a guest, young lady, he asked me, oh, Professor, my father is Muslim, my mother is Jew, but my father never offered prayer. What? In this scenario, if the baby grows like this situation, it means this is the reflection of not her or his, this is a reflection of their parents. So Islam emphasizes more and more on parents. So if they are good, they are in their responsibilities, it means they are going to establish a very good family. It means they are preparing a very good team for our society.
Dr. Baloch, what are the impacts of cultural heritage or family ties upon communities or international communities?
Yeah, that's a very good question. When we talk about the culture is a dynamic phenomenon.
Exactly.
Culture is always changing. And culture is the practice. Whatever we do in routine life, that is the culture. And the kind of culture is again managed and controlled by the kind of economy, because we have agriculture, which has a different kind of culture. We have industry as a different kind of culture. Industrial society definitely will have a more, we call it a different kind of cultural practices. And therefore, these cultural changes ultimately change the family ties. Nowadays, I mean, we have a new, we call it, with the new UN regimes, law regimes specifically, we have different covenants and different laws regarding children's rights, women's rights, and cultural rights, and all these rights systems.
Even animal life,
of course, I mean, definitely.
Wildlife.
Definitely, this right system is coming in the modern age, because today we are modernized, we democratized, and we participate in the policy making, we share policy making.
Dr. Baloch, I must add up one sentence, that Quran and conventions of Holy Prophet Muhammad have protected human life, human rights.
Definitely.
So naturally, whatever you're saying, all these are the extension of those practices in the beginning of Islam, and today's the contemporary world is getting all these beautiful principles from Islam.
Definitely. But again, remember, we in the modern age, we have different kind of Islamic societies.
Yeah.
We have a Turkish model, we have a Moroccan model, we have a Albanian model, we have a Afghanistan model, and we have a Malaysian model. So these different Muslim state models, they have similarities, but they are different as well.
Yeah.
Because Afghanistan is a very, very backward tribal traditional society, and Turkey is already in Europe. I mean, the Turkish system is entirely different. Malaysia has evolved a new system, basically, which is incorporating all those practices. And again, remember, when we go to the Europe, we have the Bosnian area design, we have Albanian structure, And Bulgaria, basically, there's so many Muslims. They are all living with a Christian, perspective, and even, it sometimes becomes highly disturbing to see. There's some people who are believed to be Muslims, but they don't practice Islam at all. They're just Muslims.
Yeah, this is really a beautiful, very interesting academic discussion, but we have to go for a short break, and I believe our brothers and sisters, those who are watching this beautiful program, Islam in the Contemporary World, they're with us, and we request you to kindly watch this program and give us your feedback. Stay with us. Dear viewers, welcome back in our program, Islam in the Contemporary World. Professor Dr. Abdul Rasheed, how do you suggest and what do you suggest this contemporary Muslim world so that we could bring back our respect in this world?
First of all, I think we must study the Islam in deep, and not only study but the practice of Prophet Muhammad and right guided caliph. And base as we have Quran and Sunnah, but our eminent jurists, they have produced a very rich literature about the family, especially Imam Ghazali in Ihya al-Ulum. So if we will go with these 3 points in Quran, Sunnah, and the explanation of Quran and Sunnah and our jurisprudence, I think we will be able to produce a very good family. And I suggest, in present scenario, we must try for an Islamic socio-family.
So you mean when you mentioned Ihya al-Ulum fi Din, authored by Imam Ghazali rahmatullahi alayhi, it means that he is from Sufi school of thought.
Yeah.
So tasawwuf may help to uplift the standard of family relationship?
Not only help, great help. And whenever I think we are seeing or we are watching a poor family system, I think there is a lack of spiritual study. And practical life of a Sufi is more fruitful than the study of literature and other, because they are practically. So you are very rightly said that without Sufism, without tasawwuf, without taqwa, we will be not able to produce a very good family and very useful family for our society.
So tasawwuf or metaphysics or Sufism would be a broad base for training of kids or children, and good relationship between husband and wife, and relationship of this family unit with the community.
And especially love and peace.
Love and peace, and tolerance as well. And naturally, how do you see this contemporary world with reference to Islam? How can Islam?
Well, I think, there are so many challenges in the modern age, especially the families from Europe and America and North America. And definitely, I think it has to be decided by the family what are their objectives, what they want. And accordingly, they should decide. Remember, when we talk about tolerance, then the tolerance is not bound by religion only, the tolerance from every perspective. And definitely in the Europe and America, a father cannot even scold the child. And definitely, they have to use very modern techniques, methods, persuading their children, making very good friendly relationship with them, caring them, and trying to give them the kind of education required. And definitely, I think this will work.
So practically, parents should involve themselves with...
they should give sufficient time to the family. Usually the mother is away, she comes in the evening, and the father is away, and the children are alone. And the only source of interaction is media, that is, I mean, internet and television, and maybe the neighborhood, and you cannot expect from those child to be very, very...
families usually in America or in Canada or in Europe, they are involved to make money.
Yeah.
All the time they are working for graveyard shift and morning shift and evening shift. You just name of the shift, they are there.
And even
so
for babysitting.
Exactly, for daycare or for other stuff. This is one aspect of family.
But Dr. Saab, I think this is not only Muslims, because the kind of economic requirement that the society practices in Europe, it demands to be like that. Otherwise, you cannot copy with the society because you will have a lot of problems.
Yeah, but since we are so much involved in materialistic approach, we leave our culture behind.
Yeah.
We don't care that we are there not only to make money, we are there to take care of our culture, our religion, our relationship, and back home. Like if anyone who is Indian Muslim or Pakistani Muslim, Afghani Muslim, Iranian
But
Muslim.
Dr. I will interrupt again. But the culture is pertinent to a geographical area only. As long as you are a part of that geography, you practice your culture. The moment you leave the geography, the culture will not be practiced.
But I must mention one thing, that in Canada is known as multicultural society.
Multi-ethnic, multicultural.
And there is a constant problem with kids and parents.
Yeah.
With youngsters. They say, this is my country. I'm staying here. I'm living here. I would follow my own culture. And the conflict starts while he or she says that I'm waiting only to be 18 years, then
definitely. Yeah. This is what, yes.
So it is a cultivation and conversion of the issue.
But again, integration is there. Cultural integration is one of the primary problems.
Exactly. So, what do you think about...
Dr. Qadri, the very short we can say that parents, whenever in Muslim society and America and Canada, they must realize their responsibility. If they complete their responsibility, I think there is no problem. Whenever there is a problem in family, only the lack of responsibility, and this responsibility are very bind for them because of their contract as a social contract, a legal contract.
What kind of responsibility parents should
to look after their babies, kids?
How?
According to their culture, according to their religion, according to their practice, and according to their social life.
Yeah, there are so many economic constraints on it. Because the parents have to work. They definitely have to leave the kid to the babysitting.
But again, this is Dr. Baloch. This turning point is making serious challenges and problems for the society, because they are all the time involved in money making or earning or increasing their resources to control the naturally there is a great problem of recession. So this recession has cut down their social relationship, and directly it is creating some psychological problems for their family relationship.
Exactly.
Say, at night time, a woman is out of home to make money. So there are some cases which have been reported in North America and even in Europe that this gentleman doesn't take it easy and says, oh, this is highly I don't accept this sort of...
Definitely, because...
This is clash of culture.
This is not clash of culture. I think a cultural, a kind of economic society, economic system as a kind of a culture. The economic system is very advanced and culture is not coping with the system, and the clash is coming up.
So, dear viewers, naturally this is a beautiful debate or discussion which we had today, and I wished to have more time to discuss more about these serious issues, but due to reality we are running by shortage of time, so we have to thank our guest participants today. So Professor Dr. Rasheed, thank you very much for your such great contribution and your time, And Professor Dr. Akthar Baloch, I'm thankful to you that you
Very
spared
welcome, sir.
you spared your time for us, and you explored new dimensions and suggestions to our viewers. Dear viewers, naturally, this is a very complicated issue and interlinked, where there is an issue between intercultural communication and training of your kid or your small family member, and you see that there is a kind of onward transmission between parents and your kids, and there are so many serious debates upon different issues and problems. How would you cope with all this? How would you thresh out? How would you overcome? These are naturally the questions which may be put before you, and you may be one of that person or those persons who are facing these problems. But never be disappointed, as Quran says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, La taqnatu min rahmatillah. Never be disappointed. Allah is great. His blessings are always upon you. But one thing is more important. Never be theoretical. Go for practical life. And practical life is, Quran says, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. The beautiful paradigm to follow the life is life of Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. May Allah bless all of you. Thank you very much to be with us. And now I would say goodbye. Allah Hafiz. Khuda Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.